Welcome to Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. An earlier start for Ipswich Town this afternoon. Kick-off against West Brom just moments away. Let's join our commentary team at Portman Road. Former Town captain Mick Mills is back alongside Brenna Woolley.
Well, let's see what this afternoon brings. Hopefully a lot more than Tuesday night anyway. Not that it was all bad, of course, but all the record books will say is that Town lost 3-0 at home to Charlton, their second defeat in a row, and something Kieran McKenna hadn't previously experienced outside the Premier League. We're looking for several areas of improvement today here, aren't we? Obviously, they've got to make more of any chances that come their way. They had 30 shots and 16 corners in midweek. Clearly need to be a lot stronger defensively, and that's in midfield as well. And also show a lot more when the chips are down. That was probably the manager's biggest gripe after Tuesday. Win, and they could find themselves on the coattails of the playoffs with a game in hand. Lose, and they could be in the bottom six, looking over their shoulders. And Mick, I think we both know what the reaction will be like if Town don't win this game here this afternoon. The fans have turned somewhat off the back of the high of Norwich a couple of weeks ago.
Well, I think sort of privately between themselves, there's already been a reaction amongst the supporters, because they, without question, would have heard the team lineups by now, and they will. The one thing that is really concerning them is the amount of changes that Kieran is making. It's obviously something that you and I don't agree with. We don't go along with it for certain reasons, but Kieran is very set on doing this, and it wouldn't surprise me that these changes over the last couple of games have probably been a pre-thought out exercise, where he probably, when he's been sat with his staff, they've looked at the 3 games spread over 8 days, and probably have almost decided where they were going to go with their lineups, you know, and it's almost as if no matter what has happened, what's gone wrong, we might as well finish the exercise. Let's do what we wanted to do at the outset. That's just one sort of theory that I've got. But 9 changes is a lot. You know, the game on Tuesday was a game of 2 halves, if you like. First half, we weren't so bad. Second half, you know, by the time when they got their first goal, we were awful. We really were. And individually was the big shock for me, how individually we went down. So this is going to be a tough game. I would have imagined that Kieran would have put this fixture as being the second in the 3 that he's taken on. But West Bromwich, they're certainly lower down than they should be. They should be, for the size of club, be in the Premier League. But whilst they've been in this division, they have been very consistent. And when you look at their stats now, you know, they haven't scored many. It's about one a game. They concede about 1 a game. So there's a consistency about them. This will be a tough game. Looking forward to it.
9 changes from the other night. The only survivors are Dara O'Shea and Leif Davis. It's basically the team that was on duty at the Riverside 8 days ago, with Walton and Taylor in for Palmer and Kayuste. So Walton makes his 100th appearance for Ipswich Town in goals. Last league start was against West Ham at the end of last season. His back 4, 3 of them have played for the Baggies. Furlong, O'Shea and Kipre. Leif Davis is at left back. Then it's Matusiwa and Taylor. The 3 of Eggerly, Smodics and Philogene. George Hurst is up top. On the bench, David Button, 36-year-old third-choice goalkeeper. Clark, Greaves, Akpom, Athon, Young, Kayuste, McAteer and Nunez. 2 changes to the West Brom side that lost 2-1 at Watford on Tuesday, their second successive away defeat. Both in the fullback areas, Gilchrist and Stiles drop out. They're replaced by Campbell and Taylor. Griffiths is their goalkeeper, who's played against Ipswich in the past for Lincoln, Portsmouth and Bristol Rovers during his numerous loans. His back four's Campbell, Phillips, Metham and Taylor. The 2 of Diakite and Mowat in midfield, with Illing Jr., Price and Johnson in behind Hegerbar. Then on the bench, Wildsmith, Gilchrist, Bielik, Stiles, Deeming, Grant, DK, Bostock and Madger. The 2 sets of players in their pre-match huddles. Town in blue, white, blue off to our left. West Brom in their chain strip of green and yellow stripes, as Portman Road is about to start. A minute's applause in memory of former Ipswich Town fullback Mick McNeil, who died in the week aged 85, played for the club between 1964 and 72. He was part of the team that won the second division title in 1968, made over 170 appearances for the club, as the two sets of players are broken away from their huddles and they head towards the halfway line here at Portman Road ahead of this 12:30 kick-off, all of which will be live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Nice picture of Mick McNeil on the big screen off to our right-hand side. Our thoughts, obviously, with his friends and family. And Mick, he was someone you used to sit alongside when you were getting ready for training and games, what have you, back in the day.
Yeah, Mick was an unfortunate player that suffered with injuries late in his career, and I used to sit in changing spot number 1 and he was number 2, and I used to watch him every morning massage both his Achilles tendons just to get himself going for training.
Planned away here at Portman Road in this latest 12:30 kick-off live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town defending the end off to our left-hand side and having to do some defending early on as West Brom try to force the issue inside the first 15 seconds. Leif Davis's first touch of the game is a long left footer up to the halfway line looking for Hurst. It's headed centrally infield by Campbell, the American right back. His 10th start of the season in the league, so he's been a regular even though he's just back in the team, having missed the midweek game. Knows what it's all about at this level already, having arrived in the summer from Canadian football. Kipre, one of those former West Brom players in this Town backline, allows the ball to go through to Walton, who of course played 3/4 of the game on Tuesday night. It's not coming into this one cold by any means. Smodic's trying to feed the ball onto Eggerly down underneath us, but it's out of play. The Dutch for a throw-in. It's actually come off the West Brom defender, took a slight glance off their shin pads, so it's a throw which Furlong is going to be taken for Ipswich Town. West Brom, one of only 5 teams to beat Ipswich Town. The last time Town were at this level, 2-0 at the Hawthorns. It was 2-2 here. Town had to come from behind twice in that game. There is Taylor in midfield, a rare league start for him. Philogene trying to test Campbell early on. Campbell's done well. Infield to Hegerberg, the Norwegian striker. The two midfielders for West Brom link up, Mowat to Diakite. Got some injury problems in there at the moment. West Brom, Diakite is probably 3rd or 4th choice behind the likes of Malumbi and Collier, both unavailable to Ryan Mason. Here is O'Shea playing the ball down the right-hand side. Eggley's on a chase, but Taylor sees the ball's got enough steam on it. It's out behind for a goal kick to Griffiths.
Yeah, well worth putting that ball in behind. I did notice that West Bromwich, when they got the ball over on their right touchline very early in the game, there was a nice short pass on, but the ball was played right over into the space that Leif Davis so often vacates. You know, maybe that's something they have talked about, that Leif does like to come forward, just keep hitting the space, and we might be able to exploit his forward running. It'd be interesting to see how much work Kipre has to do because of that.
Lovely and sunny, but very windy at Portman Road. That's a loose pass from Illing Jr. on loan from Aston Villa. Former Chelsea and Juventus player. They're a good 3 for West Brom: Illing Jr., Price and Johnston in behind Hegerberg. An interesting battle. Ipswich on the far touchline with Philogene coming in field in the shade. Out to the right, out to the left, sorry, Davis underneath the West Brom fans on the far side, 0-0, 3 minutes gone. Now Philogene has it, former Aston Villa player. Once more on that far touchline, it's Taylor who gets himself between Philogene and Davis on the ball. Now O'Shea in the bright light in the centre of Portman Road. Town trying to win for the 4th time here in 5 games, we must remember, and also trying to avoid 3 successive defeats. Kipre into midfield, gives it short to Philogene. Kipre has to stretch, can't do anything with the ball under pressure from Price. It's been a very good signing for West Brom, Price, since he joined them from Standard Liège in January. Seems to play a very bright future, the Northern Ireland international. Came through at Everton. It's been a real find. O'Shea, pretty much everything bar Walton in front of him. Taylor short down the line to Davis. Davis controls it infield, looking for Hurst, not accurate enough, gives it straight to Phillips, the former Liverpool player. Little flick on by Phillips by Price is a good one. Illing Jr. trying to take on Kipre far side. Kipre's got back. Illing Jr. still has it. What a brilliant run this is by Illing Jr. This is sensational. He might go to low now. Price shoots, blocked away, appeals for a penalty. Wow, that was unbelievable wing play from Illing Jr. That's what his game's all about. He scored a very, very good goal early on in the season. That one would have been even better.
Yeah, it was a superb run, and does he know Kipre personally, because he took him on once and then took him on another time, so there's no respect for Kipre.
Taylor trying to find Smodek, strong challenge on Smodek, which has winded him by Metham up towards Hurst against Phillips. Hurst has done well, beats Philogene, curling the ball off the outside of his right boot. Philogene, edge of the area, has a go. Oh, brilliant save from Phillips, because that was going to be another Philogene special.
Well, how many times have we seen that? When that happens and I see the ball, Philogene picking the ball up, starting to come inside, my sort of concentration immediately goes to Leif Davis, the left back, and he was like a 100-yard sprinter trying to get down the outside of Philogene. Sometimes he's not needed because Philogene would just step inside and hit a shot like he did, but he's just making sure that he's doubling up. That's good fullback play. Well done, that pairing that have played so well this season.
Good save from Griffiths, really good save. Would have beaten lesser goalkeepers. That was a fine effort again from Philogene. Smodek is up holding his shoulder. That was his worry there when he was clattered into by Metham. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Davis to take it first of the game. It's a good one, missed by the goalkeeper. Can it be turned goals? No, it can't, not yet. It's cleared to the edge of the area. West Brom got away with one. There's less than convincing goalkeeping as Johnson tries to break forward for West Brom, but the referee's already blown his whistle. It's actually a free kick at the back to the Baggies.
Well, I wasn't sure whether there was any sort of infringement on the goalkeeper there, but yeah, I think there was, but we got away with it, and we should have managed to sort of put the ball in the back of the net. And then there was this is a bad free kick to give away by Jayden Philogene on the edge of the box when West Brom are in trouble. We don't give away free kicks in those areas.
Griffiths tripped over Jack Taylor in the midst of all that from that corner kick. That's what caused him to go down on the deck, as he now misplaces his long free kick. It's out for a throw at left back to Ipswich Town. 6 on the clock, still 0-0.
That was a wonderful save by the goalkeeper. I just wondered if he's actually sort of expecting the shot to go in that side, because that's where Philogene likes to hit the shots, and he's actually moved quickly towards that side. That's good goalkeeping if it comes off, but it's bad goalkeeping if there's a disguise on the shot.
Davis heads the ball away from left back. Illing Jr. with a nice slick bit of control there. He's on loan last season, Illing Jr. back in Italy. I mentioned his Juventus connection earlier on. He was actually at Bologna last season. Now made the shorter trip from Aston Villa to West Brom this time around. Very exciting player that we've seen already in this game. Griffiths in all orange, clears long downfield for West Brom. Little header from Mowat, the captain, former Leeds and Barnsley player. Now Taylor, another one who started his footballing career at Elland Road. Very experienced former Burnley defender, currently on loan from Southampton, Charlie Taylor. Now Phillips, who's played for Liverpool in the past. Nat Phillips, he joined West Brom in the summer. New look back line, actually, partly because Ipswich Town have taken most of their defenders, but Phillips and Metham just in the early stages of their partnership at centre-half for West Brom. Both two good players, though.
Yes,
here is Walton. Yeah, got a lot of good championship players, many with top-level experience, West Brom, in their squad. Here is Kipre, a hero in his last start here. Here he is once again on the ball. After this, Town have got 5 out of the next 7 are away from home. Because we get to the end of today, 11 games in, they've only had 4 home matches up until now, so it's always going to be top heavy in terms of away games at some stage. Taylor driving down the left flank, gives it to Philogene. Philogene crossed into the middle, lovely ball towards Smodek, and it's just beyond the far post. Any touch from Smodek, and it could have been diverted into the net very easily.
Well, it's a lovely ball in because it's got more than one player sort of worried about actually where it's ending up. I think Smodics was a bit surprised. He hasn't quite taken up the right position. He's made a great attempt to get on the end of it, but he was never going to do it. But it did deceive the goalkeeper as well, and you sometimes can see that type of cross creep into the far corner.
Smodics is coming off, I think, by the looks of things. Another early change for Ipswich Town after only 9 minutes, or at least Akpom has been spoken to by Kieran McKenna and starting to derobe down below us. I wondered if it was the shoulder, but it doesn't seem to be with Smodics. That was the issue initially after being clattered into a few moments ago, but he's getting some treatment to, I think it's his right leg in the 6-yard area off to our right hand side, and the borders being readied. He doesn't have any luck with injuries, Sam Smodics. You've got to feel for him. It is some sort of problem with his right leg. We know he's had that ankle problem that he spoke to me a little bit about a couple of weeks ago. It's a real shame, isn't it, for him, Mick?
Yeah, it is. He's sort of really, he's been sort of having problems all season, really, hasn't he? You know, he's been withdrawn from the Republic squad a couple of times. You know, it's something that players really hate when they can't sort of get a nice, consistent run, both on the training ground and in matches. You know, so you know, this is an early blow for him. It really is. So
Akpom coming on as no surprise. That's where he played in the week, but we were chatting a little bit in the aftermath of Tuesday, and you wouldn't mind maybe trying Jack Clark or somebody in the 10, would you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I fully understand why Akpom is coming on. He's the automatic choice to bring on, but I thought this was I thought it while you were talking. I thought, well, you know, I'm looking down there, I'm thinking, where's Jack Clark? It's a lovely excuse if the manager thinks he can do the job. This is a lovely excuse to bring him on, you know, and I think Jack Clark could play pretty much from touchline to touchline, right across that spare gap between the midfield and the front, and I think he would do a great job.
This is not the only early kick-off this lunchtime. Back to Graham.
Yeah, Portsmouth 0, Stoke 0, but Coventry, the leaders, 2 up already at home to Watford.
Wow, speaking to somebody earlier on at the ground who'd seen Coventry recently and was just waxing lyrical, saying how exciting, how good a team they are. They're going to take some stopping. Ball forward, headed over by Kipri. Here come West Brom once again. Might break, fortunately, to Hegerberg. And a sliced clearance from Furlong. I think it's going to go out for a corner kick. A very cheap one for West Brom after 10, 11 minutes. Down at the moment, down to 10 men, because Akpom's still not quite ready. They're going to give Smodics another go, actually.
Yeah.
Smodics is going to try and run it off, so Akpom's going to have to put his stuff back on. See how long he can go. I mean, he seems to be running okay there, Smodics. It didn't seem to be the ankle issue, so it is maybe something he can shake off. Corner kick to West Brom in the 12th minute, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. One hand in the air, that's the signal from the taker from the far left corner. In it swings, good delivery, chance of the overhead, hit there by Illing Jr. into a crowd. It comes back out towards Johnston. Johnston gives it to Mowat, the captain, in the right wing area. Left-footed ball into the centre, not too much power on it, glanced on by Methven, but it was one he was always going to have to nod down and hope that a teammate could get on to, but he directed it straight at Walton.
Yeah, job done. Good corner kick came in. We half clear the ball. It goes to that sort of position that I don't like, you know, when the fringe is unguarded and it drops to an opposition player, and anything can happen. Fortunately for us, nothing did.
Well done, Hurst. He was unlucky not to find Philogene in the end. It was an excellent bit of control initially from the Scotland international. There is Griffiths, now finally number 1 choice at the Hawthorn since Alex Palmer moved to Suffolk in January. TV showed Alex Palmer sitting down below us, watching on alongside Elkin Baggett just behind the Ipswich Town subs bench. Going to miss a fair few weeks by the looks of things, Palmer. Here is Phillips. Phillips goes long up towards Price. Price with a good flick on header, but West Brom offside. Flag was up nice and early on the far side of the field.
Well, I don't wonder just whether it's just coincidence, but they have tried to work the ball all the time so far along their back line, so it actually ends up on the right side of their back line, and then they're looking to play the ball just, well, almost on top of Cedric Kipri, you know, almost as if they want to put pressure on him, because they know not only has he got to do a marking job, but
Lovely chest on by Taylor. He's taken it on himself. He's got support, and Schmodix, he hits it himself, and it's wide of the target. A little simple ball into his international colleague. Schmodix might have been the idea.
Yeah, he got away beautifully there from, I was talking over the game because I didn't think anything was going to happen, but the ball comes to him and he sort of thigh controls the ball almost past his marker, and he was away. He was making his way towards the penalty area.
Yeah, trying to celebrate that new contract with his first goal of the season. Nice touch on from Philogene. Phillips steps in there for West Brom. Here now is Mowat, closing in on 150 appearances for West Brom, one of the longest serving players now. Alex Mowat's been a good servant. Gets it back from Phillips. He's currently in between the two centre-halves as it's 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. One really good save from Griffiths, thwarting Philogene. Phillips goes over the top for West Brom into the Ipswich area. Easy pickings for a well-positioned Walton, who then underarm gives it to Davis. Davis almost loses concentration and lackadaisically lets the ball go out far side, but he's just kept it in as Taylor gets another touch. Keen to impress, understandably so, and he will bring more of a goal threat to that Ipswich Town midfield compared to many of his competitors in that area of the field. Here is Furlong, who actually scored against Ipswich for West Brom at the Hawthorns, the first goal season before last. Kipri, who had numerous reunions a couple of hours ago when the two teams arrived, so I'm warmly welcoming lots of his former colleagues to Portman Road. Here is the big man once again, 15 on the clock. Schmodix seems to be okay after that concern. Matusiwa back after his one-game ban. Hegerber, who is known for his work rate, closes down O'Shea. O'Shea was caught out a few times, particularly in that second half. He really struggled, the captain, on Tuesday night. Now Walton, not who's getting much protection, he and Jacob Rees from the Ipswich midfield. Town at the moment just keeping possession, everything in front of West Brom. Now Johnston, another Republic of Ireland international out there, closes down. Schmodix gives the ball to Hurst. Schmodix tries to get it in behind, but the Metham is there covering for West Brom. Mowat plays it off Eggerly, who's yet to get in the game. The Norwegian out behind for a goal kick to Griffiths.
No, all the game, funny enough, has really been pretty much down that far touchline, whether it's the West Brom right or the Town left, but we seem to be wanting to attack down that side. They seem to be wanting to sort of press the space that Leif Davis is vacating on that same side. So very little action for our right-hand side, that's for sure.
Lovely afternoon for football, albeit a bit blowy. Walton plays the ball short out to Matusiwa, one or two oohs or ahs in the crowd. Walton gets it back from his number 5. Furlong wants it underneath us, both hands high up in the air. Walton's held on to it, eventually gives that short to O'Shea. O'Shea's got Kipri square, and just in front is Matusiwa showing in midfield. He's closed down by Hegerber. Now Furlong towards Schmodix. In comes the challenge of Mowat. The ball spins out next to Ryan Mason, who's in his first role as a head coach at just 34. The one-time England midfielder. He's been at Tottenham for a few years. And the likes of Conte and Postecoglou. Here is O'Shea, that brief connection with Kieran McKenna that Kieran spoke about earlier on in that interview. Furlong up towards Schmodix. Schmodix toes it on to Hurst. Hurst gives it back to Schmodix. Schmodix trying to get into the area. He's got away from Metham wide right. And then, wow, way over hits that. That was a shocker from Schmodix, as he had players coming into the box to make more of that attack.
Yeah, I don't know why he sort of panicked and thought that he had to get the ball in from that actual position, because he had gained himself time. He could have actually taken one more touch and then got his head up, looked for a possibility and played it. He just seemed to panic. Maybe he thought somebody was going to sort of come from a deep position to take it off him, but there was nobody near him.
5 wins from their 11 games so far, West Brom. 3 of those have been away from home. They've won at Norwich, Wrexham, and the standout one was at Stoke. But they have lost their last 2 away fixtures. Johnston joined from Celtic after a very successful loan spell a couple of years ago. He's a good wide left-sided player, the Scotland-born Republic of Ireland man. Wide on the right-hand side, there is Price. Price with an early ball into the Ipswich area. Caught under his bar by Walton. Walton underarm finds Matusiwa. 18 on the clock, 0-0. His passes to Philogene. Davis has gone on an overlapping run. Philogene's played it down the far line to Davis. Davis looks up, early ball into the box, dealt with by the right instep of Metham, putting it back out on the far side under the West Brom fans.
Yeah, it's a good break, good sort of forward running by Leif Davis. He knew that he had a yard or two on the defender. The pass was good. We had a good box scene. We ended up 3 blue shirts in the box, so it's the right thing to cross early.
Davis with a throw-in for Ipswich. Back it goes to Kipray. Still looking for the first goal of the afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. No midweek game for Ipswich Town this coming week. In a week's time, Nick and myself will be at Loftus Road, or at least probably about this time arriving at Loftus Road for that 3 o'clock kickoff at QPR. Watford, the next opponents here a week on Tuesday. Smodix is still not comfortable, actually. Just seen him lay that ball back to O'Shea. He's grimaced. So maybe we will see Akpom before half-time. Philogene goes down. I was about to say very likely, but the referee's bought it. It's a free kick to Ipswich on the far side.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit fortunate there. I mean, I don't think he was going to have the ball taken off him, but it just made his mind up for him just by sort of being able to get a free kick off the referee.
Clark, Greaves and Young have been sent out for a jog in their red bibs from the Ipswich bench. Here comes Akpom. It's only a matter of time. Oh, got to feel sorry for Sam Smodix. O'Shea to Eggley. Eggley on towards Smodix, who's understandably given up on that one. Metham, promoted last season with Sunderland, has fluffed his clearance. Hurst inside the area, needs support in the middle, plays it into the centre. Won't sit down for Taylor. Taylor wins it back, and he's tripped by Illing Jr. And it's a free kick in a good position for Ipswich Town.
Very good position. I mean, you would prefer to have a central free kick in that area, that close to the goal, than you would to get the angle for a ball in for a cross. This is a good position. It's just the right distance, really. Not too close, not too far out. You can get the ball over the wall quite comfortably, and you can get it down underneath the crossbar as well.
Good ovation for Sam Smodix. You really feel sorry for the lad. Off he comes, chin down, so disappointed. Heartbreaking. Pats palms with Chuba Akpom, and so too Kieran McKenna, who he's currently talking to, and he's going to head straight down the tunnel to start his treatment. Fingers crossed for him next Saturday. Philogene and Davis on this free kick. Philogene probably the favourite. It's marginally left of centre. It's only about maybe 24 yards from goal. It's 0-0 at Portman Road. Both players have got the ability to score the opening goal from this kind of distance. Will it be Davis? Will it be Philogene? Approaching the midway point of this first half. It's going to be Philogene. Hits it up. Straight to the goalkeeper. Palmed away off to his left-hand side. Picked up by Johnston by the tunnel corner flag now. Puts it through a little gap. It was a bit risky. Mowat passes it away. Matusiwa on the halfway line gets it back for Ipswich Town. O'Shea roared on by the home crowd momentarily. Now it's with Matusiwa in towards Taylor. Taylor pings it back to Matusiwa as he's closed down by Hegerberg and Price. Town now have it inside their own half of the field. We're still waiting for the first goal of this championship game. Town 13th in the table against West Brom, who are 10th. On the left wing, Philogene with his gloves on. He's got Davis close to him. 2 Baggies defenders in the way. Philogene still has the ball. Comes in field, gives it back to Dara O'Shea. Kipray down the line towards Davis. Davis comes in field, plays it to Taylor in the box. Taylor still has it. Now Philogene tiptoeing his way towards the byline. Holds it up. Doesn't cross just yet. Slips it beyond his man, then nudged off the ball and off the pitch. Nothing doing. It was a lovely bit of skill from Philogene to nutmeg his man initially.
Yeah, I think the appeals were a little bit sort of bit biased. You know, there was no real sort of trip or no real collision at all. There was no room for Philogene to work in. He did as well as he could.
Taylor going down that left-hand side. He's done all right in this game so far. Taylor, change in midfield in for Kiyuste. Philogene's done very well to bend the ball out to the right-hand side. Eggley looks up, left-footed cross into the centre, comes off the first defender. O'Shea gives it to Matusiwa. Ipswich in blue on the right-hand side. Egerly, disguised ball to Akpom, lovely control by Akpom, then it comes off a West Brom defender and goes out behind for a second corner kick to Town.
Well, I don't think he really disguised the ball to Akpom. I think he had a shot that was terribly off target, and I think that he would be the first to admit that. But it found Akpom, it found him in a good little space, but he probably should have done better when he was gifted the opportunity. But it's another corner.
Yeah, it was a nice nutmeg by Philogene on Phillips, but it wasn't a penalty for me. I think the referee got that spot on. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. 24 minutes played. Leif Davis is on it, off to our right-hand side. Still looking for the first goal of this championship fixture. Everyone back for West Brom. In it comes, headed away by one of those yellow and green striped shirts. O'Shea gives the ball back to Philogene. Philogene up against Diakite, crosses into the West Brom area, headed away by Meffam. A dangerous ball again, collected by Egerly, gives it to Kipre, who's still up there. Egerly tries the spectacular overhead from 15 yards. It's off target after the wrong connection.
Well, the corner kick was good. I like the presence in their 6-yard box. We had 5 players that were concentrating to be inside the post, and the ball was sort of played with pace into that area, and there was one blue-shirted player that goes round the back to do like a sweeping job in case everybody misses it. So it means that contact must be made by, you know, a defender. So it's a good testing ball.
Just like the other night, no goals after 25 minutes of this encounter in the sunshine at Portman Road. Davis, in front of the cobbled stand on the left, checks back to Taylor. Taylor then gives it to O'Shea to this right-hand side. Furlong up towards Akpom. He holds it up against Meffam. He's done very well, Akpom. He was bright on Tuesday. Now it's with Egerly. Clearly seems to be first choice right winger at the moment. Lovely switch of play from Egerly. Oh, just the bounce deceived Leif Davis on the far side. It's into the lower tier of the West Brom fans.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't read that, Leif Davis, because the one thing that was a problem with the ball was I didn't think it had an excessive amount of pace on it, and I was worried it would be cut out. So for the person that's receiving it, he's got plenty of time to adjust to it, and Leif Davis didn't. He let the ball bounce over his head.
Kipre slices his forward pass, belted forward by Johnston of West Brom. Likewise, Kipre just booting it downfield all the way back to Josh Griffiths. He's been in England under-21 squads in the past. The now 24-year-old underarm, he gives it to Meffam, who's been promoted twice from this division with Bournemouth and latterly Sunderland. Given away by West Brom. Furlong has it for Ipswich. Short down the line to Egerly. Wants to try and take on his man Taylor. Johnston lips in there for West Brom and gets it back to Meffam, who in turn finds Griffiths. Griffiths waited and eventually left-footed, hits halfway, but Furlong wins a header for Ipswich. Infield from Egerly. Here is the Malian midfielder Diakite. Seemed to take a long time, still hasn't quite made his mind up. Eventually gives the ball. Well, he was trying to find Mowat. It went all the way to Taylor.
He couldn't make his mind up, so he thought, I'll play it between them.
That seemed to be exactly what he did. Taylor down the line. It's a rare start for him in the league, just his third since joining West Brom. Charlie Taylor, very experienced player, the 32-year-old. Taylor to Kipre along the deck to Davis. Town have worked it out to the far touchline of Philogene up against Campbell. Philogene wants to take him on. He's got the better of him. Campbell gets back though and sees it out behind. No, he must have got the final touch. He would have conceded a corner if he hadn't spun and passed it out far side. Town have a thrown on their left. Philogene straight back to Davis. Partnership working well. Now Kipre. Dara O'Shea in the centre of the West Brom half. The ball spending more time in the half off to our right, being defended by West Brom than certainly in the half off to our left, where for a lot of the time there's only Christian Walton standing. At the moment Town have the ball just under the centre circle. Matusiwa up to Hurst, who's dropped off the front line. Gives it back to Matusiwa. Townkin motor. Taylor tries to fire a ball to Davis. It's deflected to Akpom. His flick header finds Egerly inside the box to Akpom by the dead ball line. Plays it off the West Brom defender. Mowat, who's come back actually, the midfielder. It's off him for another corner to Ipswich.
Yeah, it's just sort of looking a little bit like it was on Tuesday night, in as much that Town are dominating the play. Territorially, the game is all up the south stand end, very little happening up the other end, but I think there's a more comfort about the West Bromwich team. I don't know whether I'm going to get this right or wrong, but Charlton were doing very, very well, but they were at a stretch as opposed to West Brom.
Philogene by the flapping corner flag off to our right. It's 0-0 as he takes this corner kick for Ipswich Town, headed away by the first defender, but the referee's blown his whistle. You probably heard that. Infringement in there by a blue shirt, so it's a West Brom free kick. The referee's unhappy with where Metham wants to take it from. 29 on the clock. 5th season back down at this level after just the one in the Premier League for West Brom. Did have 7 seasons in the Premier League from 2010 to 2017, but latterly becomes something of a fixture at this level. Diakite with a header, but that's to Furlong. Furlong to Akpom. Excellent touch again from Akpom. He's looked bright since he came on, former Middlesbrough man. This occasion can't do anything in the West Brom area, shielded out behind by Taylor. Goal kick.
Yeah, he's actually has been really bright since he's come on, but what he's got to do, he mustn't sort of, if all this good work doesn't come to anything, he mustn't then sort of go into a sort of a quiet period. He's got to maintain this all the way through, whether he's successful or not. That's a good player does that. We do tend to get one or two. Cajuste is one of them who does some terrific work, and then if it doesn't really pay off, he disappears from the game. But you've got to maintain it, whether you get success through it or not.
30 minutes played. Mick Mills alongside me on BBC Radio Suffolk, because he will be in West London next week. Matthew Siwa almost lost the ball to Mowat. Furlong turns and swipes it back towards Walton, whose name I haven't mentioned thankfully for a little while. He gives it to Taylor. Taylor turns it through a little gap to O'Shea. O'Shea up to the halfway line in Hurst. Hurst with a good layoff to Taylor. Taylor, lovely ball to Philogene. Hurst. Taylor's playing well. Philogene on a run, cutting in field, edge of the area, blocked off. No foul, says the referee. That was really sharp work from Ipswich Town. I love that ball from Taylor. Really fits straight at Philogene immediately.
Yeah, it was good play from Town again. That little duo there. Philogene receiving the ball, getting himself in possession. Davis taking off. But the collective defending by West Bromwich was very good.
Kipre having a little wander forward on the far line. Gives it to Davis. Davis jabs it back towards Taylor's confidence will be grown. He's done well. Links up with Matthew Siwa. Taylor now on a run, going between a couple of players. Says he was tripped. The referee says no. Here come West Brom with Johnston. Johnston out to the right hand side, and Price, the number 21, gives it back via Phillips to the goalkeeper Griffiths. Town the better side in this game. Lots of possession inside the West Brom half of the field, but just that early save from Griffiths really to show for it. Taylor caught by Akpom, was he? West Brom eventually have a man down. It's Mowat. Well, they've got 2 men down, but the foul's been given for the second challenge on Mowat by the referee.
Well, they got themselves in trouble immediately that they refused to play that ball they've played. They had the ball on the right-hand side. The next pass should have gone forward and over the top of Davis. They turned it down on that occasion and then had to go backwards and across. And every pass they made going across the pitch was vulnerable. And then in the end, they were completely and utterly bogged down near this corner flag this side. And in the end, they were really lucky to get away with it, West Brom.
13 minutes to go until half-time. Still waiting for our first goal in this 12:30 kick-off in the Suffolk sunshine. Mowat leaves the ball to Johnston. Johnston gives it back to Campbell, who I think is a centre-half by trade, certainly playing right back at the moment for West Brom. Campbell, infield to Illing Jr. He gives it to Johnston, 30 yards from goal. It's a rare venture forward from West Brom. They get it to the right side. Campbell's cross goes towards the far stick. Hegerberg throws himself down against his fellow countryman Eggerly. Nothing doing, says the referee.
No, it's not a penalty, but it's Mr. Eggerly. Just be careful. Don't even touch the guy. The ball was going to be too big for the forward, and you should just leave it alone. Don't touch him.
It's actually Charlie Taylor, the left back, up there at the far post in a tangle with Eggerly. Walton finds O'Shea. O'Shea passes it from Sunshine to Shade to Furlong in the right back area. Eggerly's going to lose the ball to Taylor. I guess at least that showed that Eggerly went with his man. Decent enough defending. The fact they didn't allow Taylor to get a free header at the far post. Eggerly willing to do the other side of his job. Diakite back to Phillips, who actually made 29 appearances for Liverpool in a variety of competitions. Nat Phillips was on loan at Derby last season. He's been at Stuttgart early on in his career. Here in the centre of the park is Metham. Metham over the top towards Price. Not a bad ball, headed away by Kipre. Illing Jr. trying to win the second ball, but it's with Ipswich and Davis. Davis back to Walton. He's closed down by Hegerberg, the number 19. Preferred to the likes of DK and Madger up front for West Brom at the moment. Hurst clatters into Metham. Free kick at the back for West Brom. We've got 11 minutes to see a first half goal, plus a little bit of added on time for the injury to Smodic. That's been the only noticeable change. Town with 9 alterations to their starting lineup. If you weren't with us earlier on BBC Radio Suffolk, and they've already had to withdraw Smodic and bring on Akpom because of an injury to the former Blackburn man. It's so unlucky with injuries this calendar year, really. Didn't play too many games second half of the Premier League season because of Niggles. That looked like a combination of knocks this afternoon. Phillips over the top into the Ipswich area. Up goes Walton. Good hands.
Yeah, good goal kicking.
Yeah, he's done well there.
He's fully 14 yards out of it from his goal line, and he takes the ball out of the air comfortably.
You'll hear more from Christian Walton on Monday's Blue Hour show on BBC Radio Suffolk between 6 and 7. I look forward to chatting to you there. If you want to get in touch, Brenner at bbc.co.uk is the email. BRENNER at bbc.co.uk. Hopefully we'll be chatting about Ipswich Town's 4th win of the season. We'll also look ahead to QPR next Saturday. Campbell infield to Illing Jr. Campbell gets it back now with Phillips. Square to Metham, who's with Montreal Impact last season in the MLS. Campbell, his last game was against Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Forward from him, O'Shea goes to ground and heads the ball away from Illing Jr. Out for a throw to the Baggies. Illing Jr. again had that wonderful run from them early on. The only time they've really been a threat thus far. That might change now. Here is Johnston. Good run from him. Good challenge from Eggerly in a central position, but then he's given it away to Mowat. Matasiwa's clearance. It's a little bit messy. West Brom pick up the pieces on the left-hand side. The number 11, Johnston. Tricky little player. Got plenty of ability. Gets to the dead ball line. Looks like it's come off Furlong. It has. He's won West Brom a corner. Only their second.
Yeah, and this is sort of, they'll be pleased, West Bromwich, with the last 2 or 3 minutes, because they had an awful lot of defending to do. They didn't see a lot of the ball in the opposition half, and then all of a sudden they sort of got into a spell of possession, and now they've got Town very much in their own penalty area.
Corner kick to West Brom. Mowat, the captain, on it, off to our left-hand side. Put one hand in the air, that's the signal. Left-footed delivery towards the penalty spot, headed down by the substitute Akpom, out as far as Illing Jr. He's given the moving ball back to Mowat. The slow delivery goes into the centre, sliding into the 6-yard area to put it behind is Jack Taylor.
And he's cleared the ball really nicely. That's not easy. It's a very nervous position to find yourself in when the ball is just about to bounce in your own 6-yard box. You're almost opposite the near post when you're having to sort of make almost a half-volley clearance, a sliding half-volley clearance.
He's done well so far, Taylor. It's been a bright 37 minutes from him in this rare league start. Corner kick number 3 for West Brom, the second in quick succession. 8 minutes to go until half-time. Mowat into the area off to our left. Good delivery, headed away by Kipre. Left-footed effort from Illing Jr. closed down superbly by Akpom, who quickly got out to his man. The spinning ball eventually comes down to Taylor on the far side, who swapped left back to right wing momentarily. Metham in the centre of the pitch has to go back to Mowat, the only outfield player behind him. Mowat jabs the ball out to the right, controlled by Campbell. Illing Jr. points for it to go back to Mowat. 7 minutes of the first half to go on BBC Radio Suffolk. Are we to see a first half goal at Portman Road? Flags flapping over the cobbled stand opposite. Diakite to Metham. A little bit of possession for West Brom inside the Ipswich Town half. That's been rare in this first 38 minutes. And even then, because the town's closing down, West Brom have to go back to their keeper on the edge of his area. Phillips through a little gap into midfield. Diakite spins away from Hurst. Eventually just goes square on this near side to Taylor, directly in front of Kieran McKenna, hands in pockets. His puffer jacket on, the Ipswich Town manager. Metham, right in the centre of Portman Road, finds Price, who's dropped off the front line just to get a little bit of feel of the ball, just a bit of involvement. Price, now Mowat to Diakite. Infield it goes from Campbell, off of Philogene and into touch.
Yeah, so really very similar to the Charlton game, just maybe we haven't had so many shots as we did the other night, but you know, we've had a lot of the possession, a lot of territorial sort of advantage, but West Brom are comfortable and they're coming back into the game towards the end of the half.
This is the most West Brom have been in this game the last few moments. Johnston, edge of the area, might have a go on his right side. He does. Comes off Matusiwa, picked up by Diakite. Little ball into the box towards Illing Jr. Should keep it in. Turns it back to Taylor. Taylor controls, sets himself in. Comes his cross to the hands of Walton.
Yeah, you mustn't do that if you're going to sort of play against Christian Walton. He's very, very good in the air at taking crosses, and anything too close to him will end up in his hands.
O'Shea fired the ball through a tiny little gap. He found Taylor. That was a bit nervy for a few fans. Davis to Matusiwa inside his area now. Kipre has the ball, so Town have to try to build from the back. 5 minutes for either of these sides to get a first half goal in this championship match. Town starting the day exactly midway between the top 6, 5 points, and the bottom 3, 5 points. O'Shea to the chest of Davis. Taylor, good touch from Taylor again. Philogene trying to take on his man inside the area, left channel. Still has it, Philogene. Gives it back to Taylor. Taylor closed down as he shoots. It comes towards Eggerly. His effort is blocked away by Mowat. The spins out behind for a corner. That could have well been the Norwegians' first goal had Mowat not been in the way.
Yeah, we sort of tested them out in 3 sort of different positions there with 3 different players, but there was never ever a clear-cut opportunity, and really in the end that's almost the best we can expect is a corner kick. But it's a right-sided corner kick. It's Leif Davis who would take it. We've already got a box scene of about 5 blue-shirted players. That's good, and Dara O'Shea no doubt will spin round the back of the 5.
Davis with Ipswich Town's 4th corner kick of this first half, which still has 4 minutes to run. Can Ipswich Town get the first goal of this championship encounter? The referee's assistant standing in the way of Davis. The referee not quite ready for him to take this. Eventually Davis can take this corner kick for Ipswich Town off to our right-hand side. Town trying to take the lead late in the first half. Good ball in from Davis, headed away by, I think it was Campbell, and as far as Philogene, edge of the area, controls it, will want it on his right foot. He's got it on his right foot. He hits it against the backside of Johnston. Out it comes towards Matusiwa, so Ipswich still in possession now with Eggerly. Eggerly gives it across the field towards Kipre. Kipre's header goes into the West Brom area. Campbell's always going to get above Philogene and win that header. Eventually as Diakite can bring it away for West Brom. Goes into the challenge on Furlong. The referee's blown his whistle for a foul on Diakite.
Yeah, I'm not sure about what Eggerly's intention was. That was Kipre, who was out on the left wing. You know, if you're sort of trying to hit him with a ball, he can't head the ball back into the centre, it's too far. Are you expecting the centre-half to control the ball and then take the right back on? Well, not a lot of thought's gone into it.
Taylor, the left back of West Brom, that is, gives it down the line to O'Shea. O'Shea clears it, only as far as Mowat. Johnson's challenged from behind by Furlong. Charlie Taylor keeps it in for the Baggies and goes back towards Griffiths. Hurst will run, he's not going to get to Griffiths in time. Griffiths gives it out to the left back, Taylor once again. Infield to his namesake Jack, who gives it to Matusiwa. Cedric Kipre is robbed. Diakite on the ball for the Baggies. He also tends to look a bit hesitant when he's on the ball, Diakite. Long it goes from West Brom. Walton's out of his area, gets there before Price and puts the ball out far side for a West Brom throw.
Horrible decision he had to make there. You know, if he had actually stayed, the ball would have skipped through to him into the penalty area. It would have stayed in width-wise as well. So he did make the wrong decision to come out of his box, but a very difficult one for him to do.
Campbell with a throw-in for West Brom as Price goes down off the ball, an accidental collision with Jack Taylor. There is Illing Jr. Ball back to Phillips. Phillips jabs it forward. Price goes after it, but Kipre will get there first. 90 seconds of the first half to go. Goalless on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town having switched Smodix for Akpom because of injury. Picked up in midfield by Matusiwa. Gets to halfway. Gives it to Jack Taylor. Taylor up against Price. Finds Kipre. Are we to get to half-time 0-0? Philogene to Davis. Philogene again. Over on the far side, the Ipswich left, up to Hurst. Hurst plays it against the referees. It's going to be an Ipswich Town ball. Break and play for the second, though. Allows West Brom to get bodies back. Referee's going to drop the ball down at the feet of Jack Taylor.
Well, things are so kind nowadays.
Aren't they just? It's not very civilised. Here is Jayden Philogene, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Philogene gets the ball back from Kipre, stretching his legs up to Jack Taylor, edge of the area, blocked off by Phillips with a wholehearted challenge. Then it's knocked away left-footed by Illing Jr., volleyed forward by O'Shea, controlled by Philogene, but then robbed by Campbell. In goes Kipre. A messy period of play here. Nothing much of worth going on. Hurst runs it out behind, goal kick to Josh Griffiths.
Yeah, I think I keep repeating it's similar in respect of the game on Tuesday night, but I do feel that I might get this wrong, but I just feel that West Brom are a better side than Charlton. They look more composed, let's put it that way. Whether it's going to be more, we're not actually sort of getting all those shots in at goal that we had the other night, but the general play's been good and we have actually dominated large periods of it. But again, we've got to get that chance to score a goal and take it. That's what's been missing in both matches.
Yeah, they don't look as if they've got goals in them so much at the moment, Ipswich Town, aside from thunderbolts from this man Philogene, and they've had a few penalties, a couple of goals from corner kicks, so it's been terrific moments from Philogene, and set pieces have been created most of their goals so far. None so far in this game, as we're into the added on 2 minutes of injury time at the end of the first half. West Brom have a free kick, which is going to be taken by Phillips. Got the winner against Stoke, that away victory I mentioned earlier on. Davis heads it away from Illing Jr. Good chest trap by Jack Taylor, finding Matusiwa. Matusiwa was almost robbed of the ball, incredibly somehow still has it. In the end it was Illing Jr. who came off the worst from that challenge from behind on the Dutchman. Here is Matusiwa up towards Hurst. Hurst with a ball out to the right hand side, which Egley has to backtrack to get on, but at least he's got on it. Egley on the halfway line for Ipswich Town. The teenager with the ball into middle towards Davis. Davis goes down easily against Campbell, says the referee. Campbell wagged his finger. Ipswich Town analyst in front of us not impressed with that decision, nor Leif Davis. Throw in for Ipswich. Here's Jack Taylor, who's warranted his first league start for a bit with his first 46 minutes. Here he is once again, finding Matusiwa. Matusiwa's robbed of the ball. West Brom coming forward. Taylor blocks off the ball attempted by Diakite. Akpom will play a lot more of this game than Smodix. Johnston's back for West Brom, gives it to Metham. Metham to his left back. Taylor looking certain to finish this first half 0-0, and indeed we are. There is the half-time whistle from Josh Smith. It's 0-0, Town against West Brom.
Yeah, it's a tight game, it really is. You know, I think that we're not even talking about all the changes because we're coming to expect those now, but the team has done all right. You know, I think that the performance has been pretty good. We've taken the game to West Bromwich on, nearly right the way through the half, really. West Brom, as we expected from the stats that they're showing this season, is that they're very comfortable defensively, not so clever in attack. They don't create many chances, and consequently that's what we're seeing. They came back into the sort of half a little bit in the last 10 minutes of that half and actually did in that period start to dominate the play as well. I just feel that, you know, they're a comfortable looking side. There's not a lot of sort of problems in their team that we can really exploit. The only way we will exploit West Brom is by playing well, and that's the only thing that breaks down a good side, and we're just waiting for that all the time. We've got I felt that we got Philogene and Leif Davis, that partnership, going well down the left hand side, and they sort of emerged early in the game. That's what you want from them. The right hand side didn't really get started for a long time. Darnell Furlong is not really coming forward enough from the right back position. We're seeing a lot more of Eggerly, you know, in the advanced areas. But, you know, Darnell just occasionally come and help the lad, like Leif Davis helps Jayden Philogene, and then you might see a little bit more reward down that side. I think the Matisiwa Taylor partnership is doing a good job because they look stronger, more together as a pairing, as a unit, and consequently I don't think that breakaway situation from the opposition into our back four is actually presenting itself so much. Taylor and Matasiwa actually emerging as a good partnership today. Unfortunately, Sammy Smonic's had to go off. He really is going to have to probably spend some time with the physiotherapist. He's got to get himself completely right, because all these bits of games are not doing him any good, and of course it doesn't do the team any good either, because you're sort of you're preventing another person having plenty of minutes in that position. So Christian Walton, he hasn't had any saves to make, but he's been good in decision making, taking of crosses, things like that, you know. So generally a decent performance against what I think is a decent team, but at the moment I think both teams are struggling a little bit in attack. I think Town have got more potential, but it's not there yet, whereas West Brom, I can't really see it. I'm not seeing an individual or any collective forward play that is really very threatening. Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, definitely shades of Tuesday night in that first half. Let's hope the second half doesn't follow suit. At the break, it's goalless between Ipswich Town and West Brom.
3 lunchtime kickoffs in the Championship today, and the other 2, Stoke are goalless away at Portsmouth, but the leaders, Coventry, are flying once again. 3-0 up at home to Watford. Brandon Thomas-Asante and Jamie Allen inside the opening 10 minutes, and Sakamoto with the third on 42. Highly likely that's going to be a 6th consecutive Championship win for Frank Lampard and Coventry City. There are 8 games that kick off at 3, and we'll have tabs on them throughout the afternoon. We're with you till 6 p.m. with Match Day today. The 3 o'clocks include 2 form teams meeting at the MKM Stadium. Hull at home to Charlton, Millwall 3rd in the table at home to Leicester, Middlesbrough 2nd, wanting to keep the heat on the leaders Coventry. They're at home to Wrexham, struggling Norwich on the road at Swansea City this afternoon. We'll talk non-league football when we return in just a moment. There's a big all-county clash in the FA Trophy this afternoon.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast.
What kind of Hoover do you have?
I've got Henry Hoover, and I've got Jenny G-Tech, and I've got Sally Shark.
You give your Hoovers names,
Yes,
Karen.
people name their cars, but I name my Hoovers.
Boris Johnson has told the COVID inquiry that the government let a lot of kids down during the pandemic.
The eldest has been affected dramatically. She has no GCSEs.
What 2 TV shows would you like to put together?
The Simpsons and the Traitors. The most obvious one would be Mr. Burns, surely, but he could be the faithful.
Excellent, Smithers.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Suffolk.
Just gone 20 past 1, you're with Match Day. This is Graham Mack. Ipswich Town 0, West Brom 0 in our main feature that kicked off at 12:30. Full second half commentary on the way shortly. Later today, Bury St Edmunds rugby players away at Canterbury in National League 2. Sudbury on their travels at Shelford in London and South East Division 1. Ipswich women's basketball players away at London Cavaliers in WNBL Division 1. And Suffolk boxer Fabio Wardley could be just one win away from a crack at the undisputed world heavyweight title. The unbeaten 30-year-old faces Joseph Parker at the O2 Arena in London tonight, with the winner likely to take on Alexander Usyk in the new year. We will hear at length from Fabio later in the programme. Back to football. England's women in action for the first time since they defended their Women's Euros title in the summer. They kick off against Brazil in a friendly at the Etihad Stadium from 5:30. Later in the programme, we'll hear from both manager Sarina Wiegman and defender Alex Greenwood. Locally today, big cup match involving two of the county's non-league sides. AFC Sudbury hosting Leiston in the first round proper of this season's FA Trophy. Both sides met during the week in the Southern Premier League. It was Leiston who came out on top with a 3-1 win at Victory Road in their Central Division clash. The Blues led early on through Ben Folkes before Jack Manley and João Soares Rangel made it a comfortable scoreline after the break. Caden Tower-King grabbed a consolation for Sudbury, and with Leiston boss Chris Wigger unwell, it was player coach Ryan Jarvis on post-match media duties for the home side.
There was, again, lots and lots of elements of the game where we were superb in possession, we were dangerous with our attacking players. I thought the midfield was superb. To be fair, I said after the when we got back in the change room, I thought every single player to a man was superb this evening. Excellent graft. First half Saturday we weren't too good, and we've really put a better display in sort of for the majority of the game tonight.
And this result puts you up to 6th and level with the playoff positions, so in a nice place.
Yeah, it's a lovely place. You know, we don't really look at the league table, and we look at sort of blocks of the season, and I think maybe it's 11 games, 12 games we've played, something like that. I think we are performing well, but we know we've still got new heights to reach. So yeah, it's a good start, and we'll keep hungry to keep improving and keep going, keep winning games.
Yeah, and you have to face Sudbury again on Saturday in the FA Trophy first round, and over at Sudbury. Anything you can glean from tonight going into that one, or will it be a totally different game?
Well, you've got a different surface to start off with. It's not the best 3G to play football on. It can be very slow, so it could be a totally different game, to be honest. But we'll get the lads rested up and go for a battle again on Saturday. And the most important thing of that is just win the game, get yourself into the next round.
Leiston player coach Ryan Jarvis with Russell Claydon for BBC Radio Suffolk after the Blues' 3-1 win over AFC Sudbury in the Southern Premier League on Tuesday. Leiston up to 6th in the Central Division table, while Sudbury is second bottom, still without a point on their travels so far this season. Russell also caught up with the Yellows boss Danny Laws at full time.
I've got to get the group to focus on Saturday now, though. That record's going to have to wait for another day. We've beat Bury Town in the last round 4-0 and at home, and it was a great occasion in front of a decent crowd. And then we've set up another local derby for this Saturday, and if we show signs like we've done tonight and we can eradicate our mistakes, then let's give it a go on Saturday and try and give our fans something at home to cheer.
Yeah, it's obviously facing Leiston again a few days after this one, still kind of licking the wounds from this one, but plenty of motivation to get some revenge in the cup.
Yeah, I'm looking for a response from the players. We haven't spoke much afterwards, and the reason is I think players need to be mature in these situations and take a bit of responsibility for themselves. That's not me passing the buck as a manager. We'll prepare and we'll motivate them as well as we always do. But when you play a team on a Tuesday night and you get a chance to assess what works and what doesn't work. So what hasn't worked, you need to make better, and what has worked, you need to be stronger and be mentally ready for those occasions. And there isn't really a lot we can do between now and Saturday regarding preparing the group. There's a few things we can prepare for and try and do better, but ultimately players have got to make their own mind up after tonight and take responsibility to make the changes.
AFC Sudbury boss Danny Laws with Russell Claydon. So Sudbury and Leiston go again today in the first round of the FA Trophy. We'll have Nick Garnham at that fixture for us in this afternoon's programme. Needham Market, the only Suffolk side in Southern Premier League action today. They're away at Kettering Town. The Market men will be aiming for a third straight win in the Central Division after following up last weekend's 3-0 win over Stourbridge, with a 4-2 win over county rivals Bury Town on Wednesday night, which was watched by the Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna. He was present for the opening of a new stand at Bloomfields, and Chairman Keith Nunn was delighted to see him and many others in attendance.
We're expecting or hoping for over 1,000, and we've had 1,105 to be precise. Kieran stayed for quite a bit watching, which was also great. But yeah.
30 years ago, Bobby Robson opened the old stand in 1995. So nice bit of symmetry there to have the current Ipswich Town manager to open the new stand.
Absolutely. We did use that to, make sure he turned up. And obviously it was great that we reorganised the game, which was due to be played last night, but Bury fortunately played ball and we switched it to tonight. So A, so Kieran could come, and B, we could get a much bigger crowd than we would have done if we'd have clashed with Ipswich Town being at home. Yeah.
So new stand, I gather, costs $358,000. But you've got quite a substantial grant, $184,000 from the Premier League Stadium Fund. Whereabouts does the rest of the money come from?
We did, and we also got $100,000 from the SIL Fund and another $10,000 from the local authority fund as well.
I gather the old stand sat 190. How many have you got in the new stand?
And the new one apparently holds 256, according to the architect who designed it.
And what other facilities are there contained within the new stand other than the press box?
It's a two-tier thing made out of containers, but we've got 2 hospitality boxes on the top tier. We've also got a press box. There's a bar, and down on the bottom tier, as well as the seats, there's 2 new turnstiles. There are male and female and disability toilets, and some storage space. Yeah, so it's quite a building, the new stand, which we're very proud, obviously. Yeah.
And what will the stand mean to both Needham Market and the local community in terms of the benefits?
Well, we're very much a community club. We own all our own facilities, so it makes sense if you own things to spend money and invest. So we are a community club. All the assets we own, and they're held by 3 trustees on behalf of the community. So, yeah, we're not unique in that. Several other clubs have gone down that route, but that's the way we're set up. Yeah.
Needham Market Chairman Keith Nunn speaking to Nick Garnham for BBC Suffolk during Wednesday's all-county clash with Bury Town. So Needham at Kettering today. No fixture for Bury. Like Bury, no match for Isthmian North leaders Felixstowe and Walton United this afternoon. But there are games for Lowestoft Town at home to Redbridge. We'll be at that one in match day. And Mildenhall Town at home to Brightlingsea. Brantham Athletic are at home to Newmarket Town. The Imps still looking for their first league win of the season, while the Jockeys are just one place below the playoffs. We'll round up all of today's non-league action of note during the final half hour of match day from 5:30. We're back at Portman Road next for the second half.
Illing Jr. trying to take on Kipre far side. Kipre's got back. Illing Jr. still has it. What a brilliant run this is by Illing Jr. This is sensational. He might go to low now. Price shoots, blocked away, appeals for a penalty. Wow, that was unbelievable wing play from Illing Jr. That's what his game's all about. He scored a very, very good goal early on in the season. That one would have been even better. Up towards Hurst. Hurst against Phillips. Hurst has done well. Beats Philogene, curling the ball off the outside of his right boot. Philogene, edge of the area, has a go! Oh, brilliant save from Phillips, because that was going to be another Philogene special. Taylor driving down the left flank, gives it to Philogene. Philogene crossed into the lovely ball towards Smodics, and it's just beyond the far post. Any touch from Smodics, and it could have been diverted into the net very easily. Lovely chest on by Taylor. He's taken it on himself. He's got support, and Smodics hits it himself, and it's wide of the target. A little simple ball into his international colleague. Smodics might have been the idea.
It's about to get a whole lot scarier. I'm Danny Robbins, and every day this month I will be sharing Uncanny Listeners' real-life ghost stories as we count down to the spookiest time of the year. An eerie starter of paranormal terror before the main course of a brand new season of Uncanny launching on Halloween itself. The Uncanny Halloween Countdown, every day on BBC Sounds.
Mention England's women in action for the first time since they defended their Euros title in the summer. Later today, they face Brazil in a friendly from 5:30. Today sees a long-awaited return of Rugby League's Ashes contest, with England taking on Australia at Wembley from 2:30. Our main feature this afternoon is at the halfway stage, Ipswich Town versus West Brom. It's goalless. Let's rejoin Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley at Portman Road.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any changes to the two teams that went off at half-time. Town brought on Akpom for Smodics in that first half. Walton is in goal off to our right. Then it's Furlong, O'Shea, Kipray and Davis. Matusiwa and Taylor in midfield. Taylor's done well on his return. Then it's the three of Eggerly, Akpom and Philogene in behind Hurst. On the bench, Button, Clark, Greaves, Athon, Young, Cayuste, McAteer, Nunez. West Brom in their green and yellow stripes, defending the end off to our left, have Griffiths in all orange. He's their goalkeeper. I'll bring you the rest of their team when there's a break in play, because the second half is just underway. Matusiwa lifted out to the left-hand side. Davis is going to go after it, but so too Campbell. Two players down off the ball. Akpom and Phillips. Play continues. Back to help out is Illing Jr., but then with a spin, he touches the ball out of play for an attacking throw into Ipswich Town, taken quickly by Davis. Gives it to Jack Taylor. Now Kipray. In comes his cross. It's a good one. Headed down. Might be a chance edge of the area for the Ipswich Town number 19, Furlong, in an advanced position, but under pressure he can't control it. So a back four for West Brom of Campbell, Phillips, Metham and Taylor. Then Diakite and Mowat are in midfield for them. Then an attacking three of Illing Jr., Price and Johnston in behind Hegerber. On the bench, Wildsmith, Gilchrist, Bielik, Styles, Deeming, Grant, DK, Bostock and Madger. Still 0-0. Lovely sunshine here at Portman Road, albeit it's quite nippy and there's a bit of a breath of wind around every now and again. O'Shea wins a strong header. Campbell nods it to halfway for Illing Jr. He touches it back to Diakite, running over the halfway line to Mowat, congested in the centre of the park, intercepted by Hurst, who gets it back from Akpom. Diakite wins it back immediately though for West Brom. So many players in such a little area of the field. It's difficult for either side to really advance. Sub-goalkeeper David Button heads back towards the Ipswich Town bench. One of 6 players in the Ipswich Town squad who played for West Brom in the past. David Button, Palmer and Townsend out injured at the moment. Furlong, O'Shea and Kipray have all played for the Baggies. They're in the team down there in blue. Here are 2 of them actually. O'Shea gives the ball to Furlong. Matusiwa crossing halfway for Ipswich Town, back after his ban. He tries the switch of play, looking for Philogene. Out of play it goes to West Brom ball.
Yeah, it's a messy half so far, the start of it really. Nobody's got a grip of it, and there's a lot of loose passing going on. The best ball so far, I think, would have been Kipray's ball into the penalty area just now, which was unlucky not to sort of create a chance.
O'Shea with a header into the centre of the field, and Philogene, he touches it back to Leif Davis as the TV camera zoom in on Mark Ashton. Of course, close ties to West Brom. Mark Ashton, Ipswich Town chairman, was on the books as a player at the Hawthorns many moons ago. Hurst goes back towards Kipray, the left-sided of the 2 centre-halves, preferred to Jacob Greaves for this game. One would imagine we'll see wholesale changes for Watford a week on Tuesday off the back of Loftus Road next Saturday. Certainly seems to be the way for midweek games under Kieran McKenna this season. Kipray to O'Shea. O'Shea angles the ball out to the left-hand side. It's excellent, straight at Philogene. Philogene controls it. Tries to play it forward off the outside of his right boot to Jack Taylor, who'd made a good run. Cross will come Phillips. The ball didn't have enough pace on it to go up behind for a goal kick. Taylor's done well for Ipswich Town. Then he tries to lift the crowd, waving his arm in front of them off to our left-hand side as he wins Ipswich Town to throw in.
Yeah, he has done well.
In the 4th minute of the second half, Davis on the left wing for Ipswich gives it down the line to Philogene. Hands go up appealing for offside, not given by the man with the flag on the far side, but the referee's given this decision. It's a trip on Illing Jr. As one of the West Brom subs go out on this near side. Here comes the goalkeeper Griffiths from out of his area. A few subs warming up on this near side for West Brom. Forward from Griffiths. Furlong wins a header up against Hegerber, then nodded on by Illing Jr. Kipray gives it to Davis. Infield to Matusiwa. Matusiwa goes square to Furlong. Eggerly wants it on that far touchline, the Ipswich right, up against Taylor, the left back of West Brom. Infield to Jack Taylor of Ipswich. Tiptoeing into the centre circle. Here's Dara O'Shea trying to place pass forward, intercepted by Diakite. Now Price is on it for West Brom. What a languid figure. He'll go back to the halfway line, and Illing Jr. Phillips spins away from Hurst, gives it infield to Mowat. Mowat round the corner to Metham. West Brom trying a different angle of approach. Metham drifts up to halfway on his left-hand side, gives it to Taylor. Back infield to Metham. Obviously I hope it doesn't finish 0-0, but if this game were to finish goalless, it wouldn't be a massive surprise the way things are at the moment. These two sides cancelling each other out. Campbell up towards Illing Jr., clearly on his shirt tugged by Davis. The referee says play on. Jack Taylor finds Matu Siwa, who's running through a lot of bodies in the middle, eventually loses possession of the ball. Again, the referee lets play go on.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a body check there.
Metham. Square to Phillips once again. Max Griffiths, they're strong in that area, West Brom. The keeper and the two centre-halves. Mowat, he's done very well. Still offers a lot at this level. Alex Mowat, good player who's been down the years. Campbell on the right wing to Price. Price with an early ball into the box, straight to Walton rather than Hegerbuck. Walton holds on to it.
Yeah, I see what they tried to do there, but it wasn't really on, because that good pass out of defence actually took 4 of our players out of the game, so it was 5 against 6. It was like a breakaway, if you like, but it wasn't on, and they should have kept possession.
Davis into the centre of the field, that's loose from him. Metham heads it against Akpom. Akpom can't come away with the ball. He catches Diakite late. 2 West Brom players on the field. The referee's blown up to Baggy's free kick. As well as QPR and Watford on the horizon for Ipswich Town, away then at home next Saturday and the following Tuesday. Town then go to Swansea, Wrexham at home, and then it's Hull and Oxford both away. As I say, a lot of away games on the horizon for Ipswich Town, with just those 2 home games against Watford and Wrexham mixed in there. And off the back of that run, it's the return to Ewood Park as we head into December.
Well, after this game, it's 7 home and 4 away, isn't it? So there's a real imbalance.
Yep, here is Leif Davis just behind left back, pushed to the floor blatantly, right underneath the man with the flag.
He must be thinking, how did the referee see that?
Yeah, free kick. Davis takes it. Kipre inside his penalty area. Nothing in the way of goalmouth action so far in the second half. There wasn't a great deal in the first either, it has to be said. One good save by Griffiths from Philogene. O'Shea into midfield and Matu Siwa. A couple of players either side of him. They combine to bring him down. No foul given by the referee. Here come West Brom. This could be troublesome. Price wide right outside the Ipswich area. Deep cross towards the far post. Nodded down by Furlong. Cleared away by O'Shea. One in the air, far side by Charlie Taylor. Matu Siwa controls it, then passes it straight at Diakite. Not good enough. He does likewise. He passes it straight at Leif Davis. Hasn't impressed me, Diakite, in this game. Philogene near side trying to take on Campbell. Campbell does well, gets in the way, it's out of play.
Now, I've been looking at Diakite, you know, and he's good at winning the ball.
Not so much using it.
He's awful. No, he can't use it at all. He really can't.
As I say, it's probably 3rd choice in that area. Ryan Mason is lacking Malumbi, the Ireland international, and Collier on loan from Man United. They'll probably be playing ahead of him. Kipre with a lovely ball onto the chest of Davis, who's taken it beautifully. His cross has way too much on it. Again, it was a position of promise, but several clubs too many from Leif Davis on that cross.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he ignored Hurst there. Hurst was the one that was making the near post run, and he had just a couple of inches on his marker. I think you've just got to, you know, hammer the ball towards Hurst and just hope that he can get a touch on the ball and divert it in the net. There was no future with the big long one that he actually played.
Well, we know that Town have got strength on their bench, but in Grant, DK and Madger, West Brom have certainly got players who can pep up their attack as well. Down below us, just behind Ryan Mason. Diakite, heavy touch, got away with it, absolutely. He got lucky there.
He just made a tackle, making a pass at the same time.
Yeah. Town of a man down, play continues. West Brom trying to make hay while the sun shines. In comes across the Ipswich area, headed down as far as Campbell, who hasn't set himself for his shot. Now we might have a dig from the edge of the area, blocked off by Jack Taylor. Comes out to the right hand side. It's Furlong who's down. No, it's not, sorry. Left-footed shot towards the area. It's Akpom actually off the ball over to our left hand side. He's on his knees. Town haven't had much luck in that position today, the number 10. They've already lost Smodix. Akpom's tried to get up, but he's gone down again. The referee has stopped players. Town have sent out Clark, Nunez and McAteer. What will be your next change, McMills? What would you think of doing if Kieran McKenna wants to kind of grasp the nettle and try and go on and win this game and make the breakthrough?
Well, there's only one player really that has got ability. It's going to take either somebody who's a great passer of the ball to break this West Brom team down, or somebody who can work the ball on a dribble, and that, we know who that is, and that's Jack Clark. So Nunez is the passer, Clark is the dribbler. Caduce, he's got a little bit of both, but I wouldn't want to. Matasua has just made one or two mistakes in possession, but that partnership hasn't been bad today. I wouldn't want to break that up, so I'd be looking at the front end of the team, and I would certainly be finding room for Jack Clark without question.
Pom's limping off, but hopefully he'll be okay. It looked a nasty one. It was a sore one. It was accidental from Ousmane Diakite as he stretched to try to keep a hold of the ball as much as anything. It definitely caught the on-loan forward. So play about to continue after a few Ipswich Town players got into various huddles and chats in the last 90 seconds or so. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Mowat puts the ball forward edge of the Ipswich area, stomped in field by Davis to Jack Taylor. Back it goes to Kipre. Here is Davis again, short to Philogene. He'll guard it away from Campbell. Kipre square across his penalty area to Dara O'Shea. Still goalless live on BBC Radio 7. Terrible ball from O'Shea. Looked like a hit and hope, really. Opposing captain Mowat gets on it. Here is Johnston skipping forward. Little short touches of his. Does like to run with the ball. Town have now got all 10 blue shirts, or 9 blue shirts, should I say, behind the ball. Akpom is still off the field. Phillips to the right for West Brom. Matt Phillips gets it back, comes forward to the right hand side. Campbell gives it to Diakite. Akpom's back on but limping, not at all comfortable. And if he might have to make way, keep an eye on him. For the moment, West Brom playing keep ball. Town just keeping them at arm's length as well. It's 0-0 as Phillips tries to put it in behind. You can see what he's trying to do for Illing Jr. But it's gone thankfully straight to Christian Walton instead.
Yeah, he's just signalled to the bench, Akpom, whilst that play was going on, and I assume his tic-tac meant turn it around, get me off.
Nunez is coming on for Ipswich Town by the looks of things. He's taken off his tracksuit top. Hurst to Philogene, down this left-hand touchline. Hurst is there, so too Davis. Davis might have been offside, so thankfully Hurst got the ball, but he's quickly lost it. A little bit of agitation in the crowd as Metham gets there ahead of Eggley on the far side, eventually gets it out to Taylor, who's caught late by Eggley. Play continues. A couple of players down, Philogene and Charlie Taylor. Play goes on. Martin Pert was trying to signal to the Ipswich Town subs for one of them to come back to the bench. They haven't just yet. Clark, Kiyuste and Athon are out. Long ball over the top for Price. Price gets away from Davis on the right-hand side. Still lots of work to be done. He's got support from Illing Jr. Price goes down. Nothing other than a throw-in to Leif Davis. The drummer trying to create a bit of extra atmosphere from the north stand. Matusua heads the ball against Price. Kipre, though, spoons it up. Akpom's down on the deck. His day is over. Philogene runs into trouble against Campbell. Phillips gives it back to Griffiths. So Smodix went off, and his replacement, I think, is about to go off as well. It's just shaking that right leg. Chuba Akpom still waiting for his first Ipswich Town goal as Dara O'Shea glides across the grass and should see the ball out behind for a goal kick. Surely a change will be made now, because Akpom's now taken off his right boot, so that's definitely his afternoon over.
Yeah, I think the number, it's Nunez.
So Nunez coming on. I think that's going to be the only change.
Yeah, it'll be a three-man midfield. Nunez will obviously be the more advanced of the three, and
rather than Taylor, you don't think Taylor will be moved forward a little bit?
Oh, I don't know. Is there two coming on?
No, I'm saying if Nunez comes on, Taylor might be thrown into the number 10 position.
Well, I would have thought Nunez, but you know, I think that's a strong pairing. I give Nunez is one of these players. I think if the more responsibility you take away from him, I think the better player you get.
Nunez is indeed coming on for Akpom. So at this point, as it stands, is coming at a cost for Ipswich Town. Smodix and Akpom both off. Touchwood neither looks overly serious. Hopefully with a full week of treatment and maybe a couple of training sessions, they'll be all right for Loftus Road. Philogene on halfway, loses the ball, goes down lightly. Diakite up against Nunez. Nunez battling with him for the ball. Diakite has used his superior size to hold on to it. Metham for West Brom. An hour gone, still 0-0. Matthew Seawer keeps the ball in far side. Back it goes to Jack Taylor. Here he is on the halfway line, driving forward to his right-hand side. Eggerly has given the ball to the Norwegian, wide right outside the West Brom box. In comes his cross. It's travelled a distance behind players. Diakite with an important toe in. Price almost got the ball away from Kipper. He's been injured. Illing Jr. bursting forward with lots of pace for West Brom. Back come the blue shirts, outnumbering the green and yellow. Illing Jr. still has the ball outside the Ipswich area, wants to take on Davis. He's got inside the box. He's wriggled away from ball into the middle, headed away by Kipper. Thank heavens for that. Davis was beaten by Illing Jr. there.
He's got pace.
West Brom now have a man down requiring treatment. I think it might be Isaac Price. Yes, he has got pace, hasn't he, and confidence as well.
Very, very pacey. I mean, he was winning the race with Davis when it was over a bit of distance. He was comfortable. He knew he could beat Davis on the run. When he slowed it down, he then felt he could go around Davis over a short area as well. So he can maintain the run, and he's got pace off the mark as well.
Yeah, he's interesting backstory, Samuel Illing Jr. London lad, came through at Chelsea, but then signed for Juventus when he was at 17, made his Serie A debut at 19. He's also played in the Champions League for Juventus. Aston Villa paid the best part of 12 million for him last summer, 18 months ago or so, and then now on loan at West Brom. He's clearly got a good grounding in the game at Chelsea and Juventus, and when he's on the ball, he's a real threat here, as he will be throughout this season to championship teams. Little break and play at the moment while the stricken West Brom player, which is Price. No further goals in the championship. Let's just head back to Graham for a little roundup of where we're at.
Yeah, still goalless at Fratton Park. Portsmouth 0, Stoke 0, and Coventry in cruise control against Watford 3-0 up. Watford down to 10 men. Looking at the championship table, they go 4 clear of Middlesbrough ahead of Borough's match with Wrexham at the Riverside, which kicks off at 3.
I think it's 2 reds and as many games for Watford, I think, at least without a sending off previously in the last couple of weeks at some point. They are Town's next opponents here a week on Tuesday, off the back of what we're all hoping will be Town's first away win of the season, but easier said than done going to QPR next week. They've made a better start to the season than many would have anticipated. Price is off near side, but he's going to be okay to resume in this game. Exactly 18 gone, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Afterwards, have your say 0800 141 2121 if you want to chat to Graham and Mick. Text 81333. Start those messages SFK or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, put SFK at the start. If you want to join me on the Blue Hour on Monday night, the email is brenner@bbc.co.uk. We're on air from 6 till 7 on Monday. Taylor of Ipswich to the left-hand side. He gives it to Davis. Taylor wants the ball back, trying to thread it through to Nunez. He's done it. Nunez. Oh, it was a lovely ball from Taylor. West Brom slightly seemed to go to sleep. Nunez didn't read it until too late, and he, in the end, fluffed a really good opportunity.
That was good play. It was an excellent ball. Good run by Nunez in the end, and hasn't really got his finish away nicely. And I was just thinking that we're 15-18 minutes into the second half. The shot stats at half time were 7 to Town with 2 on target, 5 to West Brom, and that's the first shot by Town in the second half.
Taylor to Eggly to Hurst, back to Eggly, now Philogene. This is nice approach play from Ipswich Town, still work to be done. Philogene gets it back off Jack Taylor, who's having a good game. Taylor, now Davis on the left hand side outside the West Brom area, gives it back to Kipre. Really nice this from Kieran McKenna's side. Is there an end product? The first goal of the afternoon potentially. Davis has it again infield, prods it to Taylor. Totally justified his manager's selection. Philogene with a cross into the middle, a chance for Eggly! He volleys it from 12 yards out, but it's just wide.
I don't think he saw it. I think that he must have felt, like I did, that the defender was actually going to make contact with it and propel the ball out of the penalty area. Then at the last minute, the West Brom defender missed the ball and it actually hit the player more than him making contact with it. So.
The crowd reacting to that, which is a positive, as Town go in search of this first goal of the afternoon with exactly 25 minutes to go in this championship match. Last night, incidentally, in the championship, Preston came back from 2-0 down to beat Sheffield United 3-2 at Deepdale. A real blow for Chris Wilder's side against the odds, 2-0 up there. Here is Eggly running down the halfway line, goes back towards O'Shea. O'Shea square to Kipre. Kipre up towards Philogene. Philogene goes down, challenged by Campbell. Free kick given, sarcastic cheers from the crowd. Incidentally, talking about matters in Sheffield. Sheffield Wednesday now -6 points after going into administration yesterday, so already staring down the barrel of relegation, surely, the Owls. Philogene runs into traffic. West Brom come away with the ball. Illing Jr. out to the right-hand side, has too much on it for Isaac Price. Thankfully, as far as Town are concerned, he's still a threat though, Illing Jr. No good do keeping the ball away from him. Walton to O'Shea. The captain drags the ball out of the area off to our right. So Town have just got one more substitution window. Lovely ball from O'Shea, taken beautifully on the chest by Davis. Wide left, and his cross comes to the West Brom area towards Eggly, who gets underneath it. Another chance goes begging, and this one on the half volley goes high into the north stand.
Yeah, he took it really well in the end, but from here it looked as if he used his arm to bring it down, but he didn't. He gets a good cross in, and that's an opportunity. I was just thinking, really interesting when our centre halves have got a comfortable ball at the back. Furlong is way back with the centre halves, and obviously Davis is well up with Philogene, so that's why he was able to get the ball there.
Hegerbutt wrestled to the floor by O'Shea, says Mr. Smith, referee. Did 6 Town games during the promotion season, including the East Anglian Derby actually a couple of years ago. Josh Smith, we saw an awful lot of him. Town, after 10 games heading into this one, 13 points. They're 25 points after 10 games last time around. Just a quarter of this game to go. West Brom with a free kick 10 yards inside Ipswich Town territory. Town with a high line, 30 yards plus from goal. Belted forward by Mowat, headed on by Phillips into the Ipswich area, glanced down by Hegerbutt, cleared away though by Jack Taylor. He has kept he and Matusiwa as a partnership. He's done the right thing for me, as well as Mick was saying earlier on. Kieran McKenna. Nunez is the player in behind Hurst. First time we've seen him in that kind of role, but definitely made sense this afternoon. Here goes the clearance from Griffiths, the goalkeeper. Neither keepers had to really make anything in terms of a save in this second half. Matusiwa to Jack Taylor. Back it goes to Matusiwa. Along the floor he finds Davis. Change is imminent, I think, from the West Brom bench. Their first of the afternoon. Philogene wanting to take on Campbell's got the better of him for pace, certainly. The ball eventually ricochets into the area where Mowat is back. He passes it out, took a bit of a risk. Johnson's controlled it well. Johnson's now given it away to Davis, but he's challenged successfully by Illing Jr. Price plays it against Kipre, and it goes for a throw to West Brom.
I think they're all looking at Furlong. There was an attempted forward run by the West Brom player, and he was really sort of knocked down by Furlong, who very craftily sort of run away from the position over there. But that was a blatant free kick.
Here comes the throw-in underneath us, which Campbell is going to be taken for West Brom. Hegerbutt heads it on. I wonder if Ryan Mason might think of changing his striker sometimes. As I said earlier on, he's definitely got options on the bench down below us. Walton out towards O'Shea. Both changes have been forced upon Kieran McKenna so far. Injuries to his 2 number 10s in this game. Areas at Furlong. Don't tend to see much of him in an attacking sense. Darnell Furlong. O'Shea to Kipre. Kipre runs from shade to light after the halfway line. Gets the penalty spot, then diagonally goes onto the chest of Eggerly. It's going to be interesting to see how ambitious both managers are in terms of going for the win from this game. Next changes are coming from the away bench by the looks of things. Kipre up towards Davis. Davis goes back to Kipre. On the left wing is Philogene. Cedric Kipre once more for Ipswich Town. Philogene down the left wing, has Davis in front of him, plays it down towards him. He gets challenged by Campbell, and then Davis wins a corner kick. No, he doesn't, says the referee. It's given a goal kick to West Brom. What I would say about that is it looks like a certain corner for him, but Leif Davis doesn't complain, and so maybe the referee got that right.
Yeah, but you know, it's, if everybody, I sort of keep talking about Furlong not attacking enough down the right, but you can understand it, because when he was sort of hanging back there again, Leif Davis is sort of like in a central midfield area, and you can't have obviously both your fullbacks going at the same time. So you know, they're encouraging Leif one side more and more and more, and it obviously is making the right back become more and more defensive.
Carlin Grant has come on for Illing Jr. First change for West Brom, still the same system. Grant's playing off to the right-hand side, a £15 million buy from Huddersfield 3 years ago now. Carlin Grant, yet to get off the mark so far this season. He's got, 19 minutes plus to make an impact on this game. Leif Davis down the left side, ball up towards Hurst, doesn't reach him, intercepted by Meffin. Diakite happy to go back to the goalkeeper Griffiths. Griffiths clears away from Nunez, ball downfield. Hegerberg is going to try and get the better of O'Shea, but he was fouling the Ipswich Town captain. The referee's blown his whistle.
That was a bit of one and half a dozen of the other. I can't quite sort of that. He's getting a little bit confused with those one-to-ones, Dara O'Shea. He's sometimes too tight, sometimes he's dropping off too much, but he's very, very tight here, and I'm not really sure. I'm not sure that he's been impeded at all. I think the centre-forward did very well.
Yeah, I thought he did as well. I was a bit worried there that he was going to wriggle away from him legally. Here is Walton outside of the Ipswich Town penalty area, left-footed forward from him. Underneath it is the challenge between Campbell and Davis. It's Campbell who comes away with it, plays it back to Phillips. Phillips cleared a hook, happy to hook up to halfway, and Hegerberg up against O'Shea. Hegerberg battling with O'Shea. The ball goes out to the right-hand side, and Price. West Brom needs support in the centre. Price gives it to Grant, the substitute just on. Low ball in was attempted. It comes off Kipre. Kipre tries his best, can't quite prevent it going out for West Brom's first corner of the half.
Yeah, we're getting, you know, there's a lot of looseness coming into the game from both sides, really, you know, and this is purely and simply a little bit of pressure coming on. You know, we're getting sort of into the latter stages of the game, still plenty of time to go, but players start to think, if I make a mistake now, it could be costly, so they can be a little bit tight, a little bit nervous about what they're doing.
Corner kick to West Brom. Mowat to take it, their first of this second half, with exactly 17 minutes still to go at Portman Road. It's 0-0 here in this lunchtime championship fixture. West Brom have thrown up all the big men in the box off to our right hand side, all making runs here, there and everywhere in their green and yellow stripes. It's going to be Mowat to try to find one of them, and it comes towards the far stick. A collision between two Town defenders, hooked back into the roof of the net by Price. I think it was O'Shea and Kipre got each other's way. Let's go back to Graham.
Watford have got one back away at Coventry City, 10-man Watford, but Coventry still leading 3-1, and Hayden Matthews' own goal has given Stoke a 1-0 lead at Portsmouth.
Clark and McAteer at least, I think, coming on for Ipswich Town by the looks of things, which suggests the two wide players are about to depart. Diakite back towards Campbell. Campbell Goes all the way back, just trying to see if Athon is coming on as well for Hurst. I think he is. So all change in the attacking areas, or pretty much all change. Foul by Hurst on Grant, who's been lively since coming on. Yellow card as well. Was that for George Hurst from that challenge?
Harsh, that one.
Yeah, his third of the season. Too shy of a ban now. Yeah, it is going to be a triple change. This will be the Ipswich Town team that finishes this game in around about 16 minutes plus. Still no goals on BBC Radio Suffolk. Metham over the top, looking for the run of Grant. The ball zips off the turf and is out for a Walton goal kick. So, actually, it might be Kiyuste might be coming on rather than McAteer. Certainly Clark and Athon coming on for Town. Ball down the line from Davis. Attempted flick on by Philogene. Hurst gives it away. Hurst gets it back. Infield to Nunez in the centre circle. Nunez to the right and Eggerly. Good ball from the Chilean. What can the Norwegian do? Up against his defender, Taylor, who is sat down. Ball dinked forward by Eggerly towards Nunez, who appeals for a handball and a potential penalty. Maybe just inside the West Brom box, not given by the referee. Acrobatic flying chest trap from Kipra, who's gone down holding the base of his back.
I think VAR would give that as a handball, but I'm not sure that it was quite in the penalty area.
Right, here come the changes for Ipswich Town. Clark and Athon first. Off goes Hurst, having just picked up a yellow card, to be replaced by Ivan Athon. Maybe it's going to be his afternoon. His first Ipswich Town goal, the winner against West Brom. Yeah, Clark and Kiyuste are the others. Philogene is going to be coming off to be replaced by Jack Clark, who had a good game the other night, Clark, against Charlton. Let's see who Kiyuste is going to be coming on for. It's Jack Taylor. So a full 90 minutes for Sindrawalla Eggerly in Ipswich Town colours. He's had a good game, Jack Taylor, hasn't he, Mick?
Yeah, I've liked him. I think he's partnered Matasua really well. They make a strong sort of pairing when they play like that together. He's been very good.
Davis with this free kick, wasted. Very, very poor from Davis. Goes from one flank to the other. Out of play far side for a throw to West Brom. 13 minutes to play here at Portman Road. West Brom with this excellent record, unbeaten in their last 6 league meetings with Ipswich Town. Town's last win of them was in the League Cup in 2010. In fact, Town had just one win in the last 13 league meetings between these two sides. That was New Year's Day 2008, so they've become a bit of a bogey side. Headed away at the back by Phillips. Matusua infield. Kiyuste loses the ball. O'Shea gets it back. Furlong down the far touchline looking for Nunez. Chested down and out by Metham. 13 to play. Metham prevents Nunez from taking the throw-in, so gets himself a really daft yellow card for that bit of nonsense. Furlong on the far side, trying to make as much of this run-up as possible, right up against the ever-changing electronic advertising boards in front of the Cobbold stand. Can Ipswich Town get the breakthrough with 12 minutes to go at Portman Road? Several targets in blue in that area off to our left. Eventually the referee seems happy enough. Got his whistle. The crowd rise at several notches their volume, and it comes from Furlong. Hasn't been dealt with just yet by West Brom. Clark lost it when it bounced off his back, but now he's got the ball. Clark, the substitute, plays it off of Price. Out for another throw to Town, which will be taken by Jens Kiyuste. Kiyuste just on the field with this throw-in for Ipswich Town. It's 0-0, goes a long way into the West Brom area, headed away as far as Sindrawalla Eggerly, can't set himself with a shot, in comes his cross, headed away again by one of the defenders for West Brom, nodded down by Kipre, cleared by West Brom. Ipswich Town pressing, on top at the moment, creating some pressure in and around the West Brom area. Now it's a throw into town outside the box. It comes off Grant. Josh Madger about to come on for West Brom. He's an out-and-out striker. Former Fulham and Sunderland player. Kayuste with a long throw again. Bounces in the West Brom area. Chance for Nunez. He skies his effort. Loops up and over.
I think Kayuste is the longer throw of the two, with less sort of effort, really. So, you know, if he was to really put his back into one of those, he could get it sort of beyond the sort of penalty spot area.
Definitely back in fashion, the long throw. Lots of discussion on that in the Premier League. Brentford in particular using it to good effect under Keith Andrews. Matasiwa chests the ball down far side, keeps it in, gives it up to Egerle. Nunez trying to win it. Nunez does win it. Egerle to Furlong. Furlong goes back to O'Shea on the halfway line. Here is Cedric Kipre. 10 minutes to go, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Davis in field finds Clark. Clark dribbles back to the halfway line, the number 47, still has it, gives it square on the far side to Furlong. Furlong then finds Egerle. Down the far touchline, Nunez, chance to cross, and it comes early, headed away before Athon could get ahead. An important header by Phillips as well, because Athon would have had a completely free header from about 6 yards out otherwise. Clark, as Town try to rebuild. Clark of Ipswich, 30 yards out. Price has a little nibble at him, gives it back to O'Shea. Town on top at the moment. Can they get that opening goal? Probably the winning goal if they do, perhaps. Egerle on the right wing. Final 9.5 minutes. Nunez lays it back to O'Shea. O'Shea ball into the box. A good one to Kayuste. Kayuste with a little back heel looking for Nunez. He'd gone away from it. West Brom clear as far as Johnston. Jabbed forward into the box by Kipre, just away from Athon. And through to Griffiths.
Yeah, decent response from the last batch of substitutes, and that's what you want from your substitutes and your team as well. You want a little bit of a lift, and this is the time that you really got to capitalise. You know, you don't want this sort of this impetus to disappear and have a dull sort of last few minutes to the game. You know, you just want this to continue. We've got probably best part of 15 minutes if you add the extra time on, so we've got time. We've just got to keep the standard up high and the pace high, and keep searching, and maybe we can get ourselves in front.
Hegerbutt is being replaced by Madger. Hasn't done a great deal.
No.
The Norwegian wasn't impressed. Madger then coming on, scored 7 and 7 at the start of last season. Burst really onto the scene. He's had 2 injury problems since then. The other change is going to be seeing Callum Stiles, a midfielder come left back, coming on for West Brom, and he's coming on for Diakite. 28,447. The attendance 28,447. So Stiles and Madger are on for the visitors. So, trying to end this run of 3 successive away defeats. Thrown on the far side by Meffam, then up to win it in the air on the halfway line. West Brom's Taylor. Stiles immediately involved, the former Barnsley player. Can feel more at home in midfield rather than left back, where he's been playing of late, Hungary international. Kayuste forward looking for Athon, glancing flying header back by Charlie Taylor to his keeper Griffiths is a good one. And we're in the 83rd minute, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Are we going to see a goal at Portman Road? Hopefully the net off to our left. That might happen now. Kayuste to Athon, saved by Griffiths. Clark again! It's Jack Clark again for Ipswich Town. Another important goal from the former Sunderland player. And with 7 minutes to go, you have to hope that it's the winner. It's Ipswich Town 1, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Well, they will never ever learn, will they? I mean, they do not. The goalkeeper has played the short central ball to just outside of his penalty area, and like a lot of goalkeepers, they lack finesse, they lack touch, they lack direction, and it gets taken easily off the guy, and straight away there's a goal going to be scored. It took 2 or 3 efforts for the ball to finally finish in the back of the net. Well done, Jack Clark, by the way. But why do goalkeepers get involved?
Well, they love it. They all do it nowadays. So many, they all love it. Town do it. It's
I hate it. Oh dear, oh me. If you spent most of your life in the defensive half, you would not enjoy seeing that done.
No. They all seem to do it. Pep Guardiola gets blamed an awful lot for it, but they do it at all levels, and I'm really glad that West Brom
nobody's learning.
No, great. I'm really pleased that West Brom haven't. So good. 5 and 8 for Jack Clark. Johnston for West Brom outside the Ipswich area. 0-0s are rare. We're not going to see one here this afternoon. Ipswich Town have just got to see out this final 5.5 minutes when West Brom are obviously going to have a right old go at them. I mean, he's... late penalties against Derby and Bristol City have got Ipswich Town points. He might have got them all 3 this afternoon, Clark. He obviously made certain that the Derby points were staying here a couple of weeks ago with that all-important 3-1 goal. It's in a good run of form. West Brom crossed the ball into the Ipswich area, headed away by Kipre, out as far as Campbell of West Brom. Back heels it off Kipre, and he's won the Baggies a corner kick. Put it up high into the net as well. It's a decent finish from Clark as well.
Yeah, it's a good finish. He is a good finisher.
He's a good player. We both agreed we would have both started him in this game, but he's come off the bench and made an impact. Kieran McKenna's been really pleased with him this season, Jack Clark. He's praised him on a couple of occasions. Mowat with a corner kick for West Brom. Into the centre it comes, headed away by Kipre. Walton was about to punch it behind him, so it was kind of belt and braces from Town. Johnston challenged legally by Clark. Eggerly running forward with the ball. Nunez is there. Bodies pulled forward in blue. Chance for Town to kill it. Nunez into the area. Nunez into Athon. He's put it wide. That would have been a great counter-attacking goal from Ipswich Town, but still the Spaniard waits for that first goal in blue.
I think we got away with it down here, by the way, in the left-back position. I think Jack Clark has really stripped the heels of the player, but we got us going. We little bit of luck, and all of a sudden that actually should have been a goal. We should have killed them off.
Ball forward, won by O'Shea, taking no prisoners with that header. Afterwards we'll hear from Kieran McKenna on BBC Radio Suffolk as Eggley wins a good header, and also from a player as well. Out on the far side, good challenge by Nunez as Ryan Mason gets ready to make more changes. And your thoughts, very welcome as well. 0800 141 2121, or you can text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333 again. SFK at the start as O'Shea battles with Madger, headed forward by Mowat, dealt with well by Kipre. Clark up towards Athol, challenged legally by Phillips, says the referee. Kieran McKenna disagrees vehemently with the decision, but play continues. Let's see how ambitious West Brom are going to be. Grant, poor pass. Mistake there from Kayuste and Davis. West Brom don't have it inside the Ipswich Town area because there was too much on that ball for Price, and thankfully a little breakdown in communication doesn't come to anything. It's Daryl Dike, the American striker, is coming on for the Baggies, and he's going to replace Campbell, one of their defenders. Needs must. Had so many injury problems. Daryl Dike, very good player on his day, but just 16 league starts in 3.5 years.
Who's going to play right back and mark Jack Clark? They're quite happy to put an extra forward on, but who's going to mark him? You know, I can't believe what they're doing. The players can't believe it either.
It's gone to 3 at the back, so clearly taking a massive gamble to try to get something out of this game, Ryan Mason. But yeah, the message from all involved with Ipswich Town that we get the ball to Jack Clark as much as possible. Town lead 1-0. Clark with the goal as Eggerly jumps on towards Athon. West Brom get out on the far side. So yeah, a rare win this would be against the Baggies for Ipswich Town. They didn't lose an awful lot of games last season. They had 19 draws, West Brom. That's what kind of killed their season. They only lost 12, which was the same number as Sunderland, albeit they finished in 9th place, 4 points off the playoffs. They also headed into this game unbeaten in 7 games against newly relegated side, should I say. As Ipswich on the ball, try to get it outside the West Brom area, cleared away by Phillips, downfield towards DK. The door is shut at the back by Kipre. Madger gets on it for West Brom. 90 seconds of time to go until the board goes up. going to be interesting to see what it says as well. In the case of the more the merrier as far as the visitors are concerned. Here is Phillips. Phillips given away to Nunez. What can Ipswich Town do here to kill off the game? Clark in for his second, and Ipswich Town second. Tries to go square to Eggerly. Clark gets it back after a mistake. Nunez, not quite. West Brom, what are they doing at the back? Eventually they get it away. Oh, a couple of chances for Town to kill off this game right there.
Well, it's all about mistakes. I mean, that's the third tragic mistake that West Brom have made, and has nearly cost them 3 goals. They're 1-0 behind, but it could so easily have been 3, purely and simply through big mistakes.
Clark was very unselfish there, but I think he should have gone for goal really when he was in a goal. Just tried to square it for a colleague for a tap in, but the chance was there for him. West Brom spread the play out to the right hand side, touched into the centre by Johnston, but it was Walton's ball. We're about 10 seconds away from being told how much added on time there is going to be. Town with this 1-0 lead. Jack Clark again, the super sub. Not a tag he'd like attached to his name, but as I said earlier on, he's won numerous points for Town this season from the bench. 5 minutes of added on time to be played. You rarely get fewer than that nowadays. In goes Kipre. He's 5 minutes away from a clean sheet against his former club. And a 4th win and 5 at home this would be for Ipswich Town. And then next week it's just a case of getting that away monkey off their back at Loftus Road. Nunez finds Eggerly to the left-hand side. Clark, who's in behind, wide left. This has to be a chance for 2-0. And Ipswich Town being home and host. Clark in the sunshine, gives it back. Nunez shoots, blocked off, appeals for a penalty, not given. The ball, the hand, and the arm indeed were right by the player's side. Town on this left-hand side. Town will really be kicking themselves if West Brom go on and get a late equaliser in this game, because boy, they've had chances to make it 2-0.
Well, they're, sort of emptying this side of the pitch, West Brom, to sort of gamble on getting an equaliser is really could cost them 2. I mean, Clark's getting acres of space, there. Poor old Phillips didn't know what he was doing against him.
Kipre at left back puts it up and away. West Brom will still believe this time. There's 3.5 minutes, in fact, and as I say, if they do get an equaliser, well, it'll be a real kick in the teeth for Ipswich Town, who should be further than 1-0 ahead. Phillips with a throw forward. Kiyuste heads it out. Another throw to West Brom in the left back area, outside the Ipswich area. It's Nat Phillips winding up this throw into the Ipswich area. It comes towards DK, headed up by Matusiwa. DK is going to try and get him behind. He's clattered by O'Shea. Both players have gone down. They're both back up. O'Shea with a header away, not too far, headed towards goal by Price, but he was never going to score from that kind of range with a looping header. It's a comfortable take for Taylor, and quite rightly O'Shea has now gone down. He took a heck of a battering from Daryl DK as both of them went for the ball. A couple of real heavyweights.
Well, I think Furlong would be relieved that because he headed the ball back across the 6-yard box, and I couldn't believe he did it actually, and he got away with it.
O'Shea's up on his feet, but the referee's just going to check that he's all right. He's chatting to the referee, Dara O'Shea. Quite a lot. 2 minutes of the added on 5 gone, but we're going to go beyond the 5 minutes. He's really unhappy about something or other, O'Shea. But hasn't required a doctor or physio to come on the field. If he hasn't quite made up his mind what he's going to do here, I think it's going to be an unchallenged drop ball for Walton. Yeah, that's it. Kieran McKenna very much on edge. Down below, it's very jittery, twitchy, now folding his arms, looking on. Hoping his side can hold on to this 1-0 lead, or ideally extend it. Athon challenged on the far side, given away by him. Grant for West Brom, out to the right-hand side, well intercepted by Leif Davis. Handball by him, says the referee. Free kick to West Brom on halfway. Mowat is going to be taking it for them. Not too many people leaving this one early. Ipswich Town trying to take 3 points from these back-to-back home games. Forward it comes from Mowat, headed into the Ipswich area by Meffam. Still players there, missed by Athon in the air. Maja sets up DK, whose shot pings off of Kiyuste. That was travelling. That was dangerous from West Brom. We don't want to see things like that too often in these last few minutes. Punted forward by Mowat into the Ipswich area. Glanced down by Kipper. Cleared by Kayusta. That'll do. He belts it downfield. Athon's after it. Mowat will get there first. The deepest lying outfield player for West Brom. Mowat still has it. He'll clip it forward. One in the air by O'Shea. 4 minutes of the added on 5 that were initially shown on the board have been played. Walton passes it out far side. A little bit nervy watching on. This one's far from done. Probably going to have another couple of minutes to play, even though we've gone 4 beyond the added on, beyond the 90. Griffiths played a major part in Ipswich Town's winning goal as things stand. The keeper. Foul on Matthew Siwa by a really annoyed Price. Free kick to Town at the back. Furlong's also down on all fours as O'Shea picks up Matthew Siwa. Town like playing teams in yellow and green here at the moment. Good atmosphere inside Portman Road. Ipswich Town have hopefully dusted themselves down off the back of Tuesday night and gone on to, fingers crossed, beat West Brom this Saturday lunchtime. That's it for the added on 5 minutes, but it's right that we're playing beyond it. The only whistles you hear are from the crowd as Walton goes long, headed away from the back. Nodded down by Mowat. Grant's challenged by Clark. Town win it on halfway. Kipper puts it up into the sky. Headed off the edge of the West Brom area by Meff, and Mowat goes towards the ball. Gets there before Eggley. Matthew Siwa infield, only to Grant. There surely has to be a last chance for West Brom to get a late equaliser. Johnston down the line to DK. Cross will come Kipper, who's had a good game at the back for Town. He got the final touch. It's a throw to West Brom. West Brom have a throw outside the Ipswich area. 30 seconds beyond the added on 5 minutes at the end of this game. Plenty players forward. This is it for West Brom. They've got to score from this if they're going to get something from the trip to Suffolk. Header across the face of goal. Referee's blown his whistle as it's driven in by Johnston. Half a dozen West Brom fans celebrate, but it's a Ipswich Town free kick and they still lead 1-0. And surely they're about to win 1-0.
Yeah, it's amazing when a team need to get a goal that they actually can go in pursuit of one and do okay, you know. So for all the rest of the game, they haven't really been interested in taking the lead, but now they're desperate to get an equaliser, and they look as if they've got a bit of an attacking prowess about them. But I think the game's dead and buried now. Walton's doing exactly the right thing.
Walton, with this free kick right at the end of this game, has a clean sheet on his 100th appearance for Ipswich Town. And a victory! It's 4 wins in 5 at home for Ipswich Town. They've bounced back from the huge disappointment of Tuesday's 3-0 defeat to Charlton by beating West Bromwich Albion by 1-0. Jack Clark, the hero this afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports.
Yes, it was a really tight game. We just never seemed to be creating the chances that we needed to create to win the game. I mean, the stats, shots-wise, at half-time were 7 to Town with 2 on target, 5 to West Brom, none on target, and then after a long time of the second half, all that had happened was that West Brom had actually got 2 on target, and it went to 5-2. And they had 2 more off target, went to 7-0, and Town were taking an awful long time to actually create anything, and it was really when the goalkeeper chose late in the game, he chose to play that suicidal football on the edge of the penalty area, and he played an awful ball to his central midfield player, and Town capitalised on it, got in front. Then there were 2 or 3 more mistakes made. Town should have gone 1-2-3 and put the game out of the reach of West Brom, but they didn't do that, and then when West Brom went on a bit of a gamble to try and get the goal back and couldn't do it. But generally speaking, you could see what West Brom are all about, and they're not bad. I think they're a more comfortable side than Charlton. They seem to be better at playing the defensive game than what Charlton were, but they're not going to do as much as they've done in the past if that's the way they're going to play. They've got to try and win games, not just draw games. As far as Town are concerned, this is an absolute valuable 3 points after the last 2 games. It really is. I mean, we wanted to come out of these 3 games with much more than what we have. We've ended up with 3 from 3. Not really enough, but it will make our league position better than what it would have been if we'd only drawn the game. But we've now played 7 home games as opposed to 4 away from home. There's some hard little fixtures coming up, not at Portman Road. So we've got to 2 things. We've got to improve as a team, and we've got to improve away from home without question over the next 5 or 6 weeks. Those 5 or 6 weeks could be key to whether we can hang on to the shirt strings or the tail strings of Coventry and Middlesbrough and people like that, or we're going to just put ourselves into an area where we, for the second half of the season, we could be looking at a possibility of a playoff place. You know, it's crucial that we get going now. It really is, because you know, we are sort of 11 games in. That's a lot of football. It's nearly 25% of the season. We've got to get going. We don't want to be reliant on the second half of the season. With regards to individuals today, I think the centre halves have improved. They haven't had a lot to do, but they were better. They didn't make mistakes there. So O'Shea, Kipri were okay. Davis, Philogene, that was probably the best partnership down the left, most creative, carried the most potential. But the other partnership that seemed to come together nicely today, and it was thrown together in many respects. Matisu coming back from a suspension, and Taylor was chosen to partner him, and I think it made us stronger. Made us much stronger just in front of our centre halves. So maybe that's why our centre halves weren't so exposed as they have been in the recent times. So credit Jack Taylor for what he's done to improve the balance of the side. Shame for the Sammy Smodics to get another injury. The other plus, obviously, is Jack Clark. You know, he's going to score goals if he starts a game. He's going to score goals if he comes off the bench. He's becoming a very valuable player for us. He really is. He came initially, but obviously we had the year in the Premiership that maybe the division was beyond him, so we didn't see the best of him. But he's come back to the division that he actually made his name in, mainly obviously at Sunderland, but he's on the stage for us now, and I think he's going to be a really key player right the way through the season.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Certainly having an impact in these first 11 games of the season. Jack Clark giving them their 4th victory here this afternoon. Ipswich Town. They've beaten West Brom by 1-0. Kieran McKenna's thoughts and those of an Ipswich Town player on the way.